Hey guys, my name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be reading Stuart Little by E.B. White. Chapter 1 In the Drain. When Mrs. Frederick C. Lett's second son arrived, everybody noticed that he was not much bigger than a mouse. The truth of the matter was, the baby looked very much like a mouse in every way. He was only about 2 inches high, and he had a mouse-sharp nose, a mouse tail, mouse whiskers, and a peasant shy manner of the mouse. Because he was many days old, and he was not only looking for a mouse, but acting like one too, wearing a gray hat and carrying a small cane, Mr. and Mrs. Little named him Stuart, and Mr. Little came up with a tiny box out of 4 clothespins in a cigarette box. Tiny bed, yeah. Unlike most babies, Stuart could walk as soon as he was born. When he was a week old, he could climb lamps by shimmying up the cord. Mrs. Little saw right away that the infant clothes she had provided were unsuitable, and she set to work and made him a fine little blue worsted suit and with patched pockets in which he could keep his handkerchief, his money, and his keys. Every morning before Stuart dressed, Miss Little went into the room and weighed him on a small scale, which was really meant for weighing letters. At birth, Stuart Little could not have been sent by first-class mail for 3 cents, but his parents preferred to keep him rather than sending him away, and when, at the age of a month, he had only gained 1/3 of an ounce, his mother was so worried that she sent him to the doctor. The doctor was delighted with Stuart, and said that it was very unusual for an American family to have a mouse. He took Stuart's temperature and found that it was 98.6, which is normal for a mouse. He also examined Stuart's chest and heart, and looked into his ears solemnly with a flashlight. Not every doctor can look into a mouse's ears without laughing. Everything seemed to be all right, and Mrs. Little was pleased to get such a good report. "Feed him up," said the doctor cheerfully as he left. The home of the Little family was a pleasant place near a park in New York City. In the morning, sun steamed in through the east windows, and all the Littles were up early as a general rule. Stuart was great help to his parents and to his older brother George, because of his small size and because he could do things that only a mouse can do, and was agreeable about doing them. One day, when Miss Little was vanishing into the bathtub after Mr. Little had taken a bath, she lost a ring off her finger and was horrified to discover that it had fallen down the drain. What had I better do?" she cried, trying to keep the tears back. "If I were you, said George, "I should have bent the hairpin as the shape of a fishhook and tie it to the piece of string and try to fish the ring out with it." So Miss Little found a piece of string and a hairpin, and for about half an hour she fished for the ring, but it was dark down the drain, and hooks always seemed to catch on something before she could get it down to where the ring was. "What luck?" inquired Miss Little, coming into the bathroom. "No luck at all," said Mrs. Little. "The ring is so far down that I can't fish it up." "Why don't we send Stuart down after that?" suggested Mr. Little. "How about it, Stuart? Would you like to try?" "Yes, I would," Stuart replied, "but I think I'd better get my old pants. I imagine it's wet down there." "It is at all," said George, who was trifled and annoyed, and had his hook idea hadn't worked. So Stuart slipped on his old pants and prepared to go down the drain after the ring. He decided to carry a string along with him, leaving one end to charge of his father. "When I jerk 3 times in the string, pull me up," he said, and when Mr. Little knelt in the tub, Stuart slid easily down the drain and was lost to view. In a moment or two there came 3 quick jerks on the string, and Mr. Little carefully hauled it up. There, at the end, was Stuart, with the ring safely around his neck. "Oh, my brave son," said Mrs. Little proudly, as she kissed Stuart and thanked him. "How was it down there?" asked Mrs. Little, who was always curious about places she had never been to. "It was all right," said Stuart, "but the truth is the drain had made him very slimy, and it was necessary for him to take a bath and sprinkle himself with a bit of his mother's violet water before he felt himself again." Everybody in the family thought he had been awfully good about the whole thing.